Hi everyone, so final video review for this week is for Trade Secrets by Kathleen Knowles. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I did just post that the other day. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below, and if you're on Facebook or on my blog, then there is a link within the post. And this is the video review. So Trade Secrets by Kathleen Knowles was so fascinating and so intense. I love Kathleen's work because when you read her stories, they are not the norm and they are very different, and they focus on issues that just are a little more taboo or just not the general subject that you would find in these types of books, and I am absolutely fascinated by them and the ideas she comes up with. They are fantastic. So this story is about Tony. She works for a startup company that's really rapidly making progress, but it needs help from some investors. So Tony meets Sheila when Sheila is visiting the company for an initial meeting to see whether they're going to invest. And they instantly sort of have this connection. It's a little bit weird, but they instantly have it, and it's a really strong connection. And then Tony begins to realise that everything at work isn't quite what she thought it was, and that something isn't quite right. So she confides in Sheila because they've built this friendship to relationship sort of status, and she wants to make her discoveries known. She wants to sort of publicise the fact that this doesn't seem right, whatever this company's up to. And feels it's in the public's interest to know, whereas Sheila is not keen on that idea at all, so that causes some extra conflict between them and their relationship. And that was a main basis for a lot of this, was conflict, but it wasn't just conflict between two people, it was a work-life balance type of conflict, because Tony's work was very confidential. Obviously, I know very confidential work means that you can't really talk about it anywhere, and if something's not right, I mean, you really are between a rock and a hard place, if you like, trying to figure out what you should do, whether you should tell someone, whether you should say something. So obviously it depends what it is, but you know what I mean. When there's secretive stuff going on inside a company, you can't exactly go outside and just like publicize it without, there's so many risks and complications, and that's what Tony's got to really think about in this story. So what I actually loved most about this story, though, was the innovative idea the company was working on. I won't spoil what it is, but it's one of those things that I'm one of those people that would definitely benefit from what they were making, and I wish it really existed, because I haven't had to go through a process that it would relate to, but I never want to because it terrifies me. So it interested me greatly and really got me hooked into you know, a story that has great potential, and I was instantly drawn into it. But there was a lot going on, and like I say, that caused a lot of conflict. So Tony had a lot morally and emotionally to consider, and her conscience was very much screaming at her to do the right thing, and she wasn't sure. But between sort of employees affecting morals and the relationships affecting morals, there was so much going on, not only between Sheila and Tony, but between like the whole cast of characters, because they all had their own problems or issues with what was going on and how to handle that, and it all affected what Tony would initially do or not do or end up doing. So Kathleen did a great job of focusing on how corrupt morals can become in professional settings. I think that's a really big thing to highlight, especially in this type of startup company that she was covering in this story. There is a lot of potential for conflict of morals and underhand professional business happening and all sorts of things. So and obviously money. The business is at the heart of the decisions, you know, rather than the consumer and or the people that are going to be affected by the decisions the company made. And Kathleen really highlighted that well, and how employees handle that. So I really loved that as well. But I really enjoyed the pace of the book as well. It was fast moving in terms of the relationship. It had a long period of time to cover, and so Sheila and Tony, you know, they sort of just very much became together, but they still had a rocky ride alongside all these moral dilemmas, personally, in sort of logistically organising that, and their characters, the way they behaved and everything, because they were so opposite. Like Sheila was so out there and Tony was so introverted in a way that it made it quite difficult for them to sort of just get going, if you like, without a lot of decision making happening, or a lot of to-ing and fro-ing with Tony being unable to decide what she really wanted to do. And she was sort of in her comfort bubble and she didn't really want to come out of it, and I don't blame her. But it was so interesting to see the choices the characters were making and their motives and their reasons behind those, because they all had a different reason or angle for their behaviour and their decisions on how to act. And obviously that was both a personal element and a professional element as well, getting in there and causing them their own headache. So there were so many moments where I really worried about how this was all going to play out for Sheila and Tony, because it really could have made or break them. And I really hoped it would work out despite any differences, so that they could really, you know, focus on their relationship and happiness that they both deserved, and, you know, in being together. So this is a very interesting addition to Kathleen's very unique catalogue of books, and I really look forward to reading more in future. Kathleen, like I say, she's really outside the box with these. They are great stories, and hopefully Tony and Sheila will make a future appearance at some point, because it'd be great to know how things went for them following on from this. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of Trade Secrets by Kathleen Knowles. I really enjoyed it. I think you will too. If you've read Trade Secrets by Kathleen Knowles, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please comment below and get involved. Let me know what you thought of the story and the characters and everything. If you haven't read Trade Secrets but you're planning to read it, it's on your to be read list, or you're now really intrigued and you want to read it, again, get in touch, because it's always great to hear what you're reading. And if you do read it, I hope you enjoy it. Bye.